So we'll see if Shameless can keep up with the aggression of Percival. Percival, he is very 2 and 3 base heavy. Of course, in recent times and recent metas that has shifted a little bit, but we'll get into it. As spawning in the top left hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is a Shameless. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. So get into our TVP. And again, welcome on to Ruby Rock. We did mention this in the previous series, but Ruby Rock has a much more open third and an open natural and an open fourth base. So it's a little bit more accessible. That is one of the reasons why we saw Mixu go for an all-in. Mixu went for the all-in against Bjorn, and likewise, all-ins are also favored in this matchup as well. Now we'll see how Shameless will approach. Shameless may decide to be hyper defensive and be very safe and try to survive, or we could see Shameless turn the tables and be the aggressor instead. So Shameless has options. I mean, they both do. I'm making the assumption that Percival's going to be aggressive, but we'll see. As both gases are being taken, and Percival is going for a faster factory. We have the attempted probe scouts, but Shameless is going to be zoned away. He's going to be denied entry into the main base, so for all he knows, there could be a factory, there could be a CC on the high ground. Shameless is in the dark. So we're playing blind when it comes to the openers. Like happens, it happens, baby, it happens. Smooch. It's to the best of us. Now you're making me paranoid. Now, no, internet's gonna go down suddenly. We do have our initial Reapers moving out. We're investing into a second Reaper. So it should be Reaper Hellion initially by Percival. This can lead into a Woodmine drop follow-up. This can lead into earlier Cyclones. Can lead into Banshees. As Percival does pull away. His back pulls away. Shameless behind this going for a Twilight Council. Twilight Council into Blink. The question becomes, how many gateways? 2-gate Blink would be very greedy. Going 2-gate Blink into a faster third would be cutting a lot of corners, and I would say that is not viable on a map like Ruby Rock. On a larger map, on a more defensive map, sure, go ahead. Here, you're asking to just be punished for it. So we're expecting not just 1, not just 2, but we're expecting at least 3 gateways here. Reaper Hellion pokes in, going for the sentry. No major damage, but let's get a bit of hull damage actually. Hull damage on the sentry. Meanwhile, the Woodmine drop is setting up. Shameless does scout, does confirm. Basically, what does Shameless see? He sees Woodmine, he sees no add-on, so he knows there's no Banshee play. He knows there's no shenanigans going on. He's aware of the drop that's coming. So mentally, Shameless can prepare and start to warp in. Ooh, a bold move. If you recall what I just mentioned here, 2-gate. 1 gateway in the main base, 1 gateway with natural, no gases, no robo, 2-gate Blink into a third. This is the greediest opener you can go for in PvT. So very greedy, very economic, and Percival should punish this. Now, first things first, Percival doesn't know. He hasn't scouted the timing of the third base, so Percival is not fully aware yet, but we'll see if he can find out, if he can piece it all together. Percival does head for the mineral line, dropping into the main base, zoning away the stalkers. Oh, speaking of, Jesus. Mine shot gets baited. Baited out by the sentry. Stalkers, they can hold their own, and the stalkers do defend. Percival's going to be deflected, no major damage in the main base, and likewise, no scouting either. So nice hold out of Shameless. Shameless, he holds, he defends, and he hides his build, he hides his third base. As Percival still has no idea. So based on these openers, getting into the mid game, I have to favor Shameless. He is cutting corners, he's being greedy, and so far he's getting away with it. He hasn't fully gotten away with it yet, bearing in mind that Percival, he is working towards his 3-rank stim timing, so he's building up into stim, switching out of tanks early on here, so this is going to be a heavy bio timing out of Percival. It's going to hit hard. Basically what's happening here is that Percival, I don't think he made a single tank. It is very standard, very common to go into a tank heavy style early to survive into defend against Stalker aggression, but we can see here, 1, no Stalker aggression out of Shameless, and 2, 0 tanks. So we're cutting a lot of corners, no tanks, straight into Marine, Marauder, and upgrades. So both players are cutting corners in their own way. Shameless is cutting corners by being greedy, Percival is cutting corners by taking a risk and going for a heavy bio composition, which doesn't really excel until the upgrades kick in. So here he'd be vulnerable. He'd be very vulnerable to blink harass, but Shameless isn't harassing. As Reaver Heli does head for the forward base, does have the third, forcing a recall. Oof. And getting 5 probes, not bad. 6. Yeah, 6, 7, 8 probes going down. Can we get more? Oof. We can. 10, Jesus, 10 probe kills, very nice damage. And what was meant to be an economic start, suddenly he's losing that economic lead. Now, Shameless is still in a better position economically, but losing 10 workers is brutal this early on. Oh, drop spotted. Taking down the Stalker. Barely saved. Nice snipe on the medevac. Shameless, thanks to the Stalker, he's aware of the move out, so he can slow it down, gets a medevac. And Percival commits. Does commit, third CC behind this. Building up his bio, the Observer does confirm. Shameless he knows, and Shameless he has to engage ahead of time. Remember, this is early enough where there's no splash damage, right? There's no Colossus, there's no Storm. The bay's just now finishing. So Shameless, he has to be proactive. Speaking of, Dune drop into the main base. Hallucination in position. Observer gets sniped, and the Hallucination does spot the drop. A big moment here for Shameless. Yeah, big moment. Percival, he goes in anyway. Oh, he's crazy. He goes in. Does boost forward. Oh, pivots away. Shameless is keeping up. Fourth base is denied. That's a kill. It's a kill, not a cancel. Shameless sniping the Raven. Percival coming in from behind. Oh, he blinks in, gets punished for the blink. Mind shot goes off. And so far, Percival, he's keeping up. Forcing trades, killing bases. At the same time, Shameless does hit the third CC. Managed to get to a couple of SCVs. 2 up to 4, not bad. 5 SCV kills, 6, 7. Oh my god, it's getting out of hand. 7 SCVs back at home. The Zealous barely do hold their own as well. Shameless, he defends, he attacks, and Percival is in a rough position. The Zealous even get a Marauder, and they get more SCV. They're still not done. Oof. Yeah, they're not done. The army races back home. Drops are coming back, and the drop play has been unsuccessful. It was a big gambit. It was a big gambit going for the early Marauders, early stim, early combat shields to go for the early drop play, and so far it has done nothing. I say done nothing. Did kill the 4th, true. Like there was some value achieved there by killing the 4th base, but he himself did just lose 10 SCVs, so his own economy here is lackluster. Shameless up to 70 probes, and now he has splash damage. Now he has Colossus. Shameless is getting it at hand. He's getting at hand. He's snowballing out of control, and Shameless, he is here to take a lead in the series. The pressure is on Percival. Pressure is on. As Shameless has gotten away with too much. He's gotten away with too much. He's now moving in. Meanwhile, it happens at the beginning of the game, but a big shout to Conlitz in the chat. Gab, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 2 months. For 2 months in a row. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting, and the StarCraft. I do apologize for not giving you a shout out earlier. We're just getting into the game, but thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And Shameless does move in. And he's just going to overwhelm. Yeah, he just shuts down the army. The Colossus do zone away. You can see here he doesn't overextend. He kites back. Keeps him safe. couple of Vikings are trickling in, but so far only 3 Vikings are getting up to 4. It's got a decent Viking count, but not much on the ground. Colossus do pull away. And Shameless playing it safe. Oof. Nice mind shots on the Zelts, but we have more Zelts coming in, and Shameless, he should break this position. He will overwhelm. The boys are being pulled. GG gets called, and Shameless takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG will play. Shameless will take lead in the series. Again, Shameless had a very greedy start, a very greedy build, as we mentioned, and he did get away with it. Did lose 10 probes to the Reaper Hellion drop play. That is true, he did lose some workers, but he reciprocated that damage across the map with the Zealot Rumba. He achieved so much, and also the dedicated drop play didn't get much done either. Did kill the 4th, true, like I gotta keep bringing that back. Did kill the 4th base, but wasn't able to keep the army busy, wasn't able to get any more probe kills. Instead of even Swarm Medivacs getting sniped, and GG. GG well played. With that, we're now getting into game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Tenacious Citadel. Let's go. Loading into Taito. This is an interesting map. I'm still like trying to like pin what I fully think about this. Tenacious Citadel is a larger map, but it also is more spread out. Like the bases are very isolated from each other, so it does seem like it is difficult to defend on a higher base count because you're so spread thin, and rotations take a long time to go from one base to the other and to the other, and it can make for a really awkward and actually really aggressive mid game if we can get there. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Tenacious Citadel, we have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran down in the series. Can he bounce back? It is Percival. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player representing Team Littlevary. Leading the series 1-0. It is Shameless. We go. And we'll see if Shameless goes for another 2-gate opener again. Like, I felt like it was very risky to go for it on Ruby Rock. He did get away with it in the end, as Percival went for a later stim timing and a later bio timing. So Shameless was able to get away with it. We'll see if he tries to pull something like that off again. I would advise against it. I would want to see some safer builds and safer play out of Shameless, but we'll see. Let's go. But now he's checking for proxies. Don't blame him. We just saw Percival cheese out Cavalier, cheese out Eddie. Shameless, I'm sure, was watching, taking notes. Yo, the sprays. So now we're setting up. So far, standard openers. Again, no proxy, no shenanigans. We can see Shameless once again just checking the 3rd location, just to be sure. And 2 games in a row, double gas opener, but this time it is going to be double gas into a reactor first, into reactor to Reaper Hellion. A little bit more, I say a little bit more, this is more dedicated earlier, much more dedicated, much more aggressive. The goal here with Reaper Hellion is to deal economic damage, is to bust into a mineral line and wreak havoc. Remember, it's 3 Hellion volleys will kill a worker. We'll see how many Hellions will build up. See where Percival does stop. Should be getting up to at least 4 Reapers. And 2 Hellions. But you make him a little bit harder. Reaper does scout nearby. Checking for proxies. Twilight Council opener out of Shameless, getting into Blink. How many gateways is the big question. Now, how do you counteract to this amount of Reaper Hellion? Because this can be a hefty amount of this. Typically SimCity. You can see here that we already have a wall being set up. So gateway, pylon. Ideally, you want to wall off this area, wall off the natural, and securely defend your 2 bases. We'll see how quickly Shameless can react. Does as a sentry, does a force field. Nice body blocking here with the Stalker. Army does move in. Tries to at least get ahead of the mineral line. Gets 1, gets 2. 2 probes go down. Tries to get away, and Shameless very, I was gonna say very disciplined, not holding on to that force field, but he does use it towards the end. Was a bit of a waste, and with that, Percival gets away. 2 probes and pulls out. Not bad. Let's pull out. Now get ready to go back in. At the same time, we do have the Marine Watermine drop here towards the main. Again, hyper aggression out of Percival. This time, Shameless is playing safe. What do you see? A gas at the natural. Gas at the natural, second gas as well. Robo at the natural base. We do have a 3rd gateway in the main, so 3-gate blink into a Robo into double gas. Very 2-base heavy here by Shameless. Very safe. In direct contrast to last game, where he had hyper greed. Drop goes in. Medevac does unload. Mine shots up. Gets a Stalker, not bad. Takes down a Stalker. Reaper Hellion busts into the mineral line, and probes are going down. Shameless having a hard time keeping up. Does have a hard time. Nice force field towards the end, but he will still lose 5 probes. And cannot afford to lose more than that. 5 probes go down. And this Percival he's building up. This time he is making tanks, so tanks are on the way, Cloak Banshee on the way as well. We're going to be delaying Stim and delaying the bio upgrades in favor of a heavier tank and Banshee count. And Percival he's not going all in, 3rd CC. Okay, so 3rd CC is on the way, so we're building up in towards the mid game. Percival just being defensive after the aggressive start. Yeah, double eBay, 3rd CC, we're building up into a longer game. At the same time, Shameless throws down the bay, working towards Colossus. Now, the 3rd base of Shameless is very late. It's a very late 3rd base. He was contained on 2 bases even longer than usual, just because of the aggression. So, overall, I would say a nice start for Percival. A better start for the Terran. As both Banshees, they will hit the natural. There are 3 observers. Plenty of them. But one's across the map, one's at home, one's in the main base, so we will be able to defend despite that. 7 probes! Yeah, 7 probes go down, and Percival, he's just pulling Shameless apart, so getting even more damage in the main. Getting it to 9 probe kills. And one of the Banshees even does get away. Oh! Barely not. Yeah, barely not. But still 9 probes going down. Shameless, he already had a late 3rd base. He already took losses early on. Now even more. So again, such a different kind of game state compared to last game, where Shameless, he was left alone, right? He was left alone last game. I mean, I say left alone. It was a later aggression with the drop play. Here it's been much earlier with Reaper Hellion and with Banshee. Percival, he is set up on the high ground, 3rd base is being taken, and Percival, he does take a lead. Takes the lead. Percival, he has the better economy once he gets his 3rd up. He does have the better economy. Shameless now getting a 4th base. So later 4th. Shameless is trying to keep up. Now, when it comes to the current game state, on the one hand, yes, Percival, he is ahead, he is in a better position. On the other hand, we'll see if Shameless can somehow recover. There are ways of doing so. If Shameless can catch Percival out of position and backstab, and get into the natural, get into the third, get into the main base, with War Prism Harass, with Blink Stalkers, with Zealot Run Bys, there are ways to recover. On top of that, when it comes to the main engagement, depending on how the splash damage is used, the Colossus, the Storm, High Templar. One Stalker goes down, that's not worth it. I assumed that Shameless was going for the mineral line, but instead he went straight for the army. Ay, ay, ay. Are building up. Shameless going for the gold. Bold move. Basically, Shameless is hoping that he can maintain map control. As he moves out, as he builds up his Colossus, if he can maintain that map control, then he can overwhelm with pure Zealots. Like, that's what this go base will allow for. It's just massive amount of Zealot Warpins to just hammer away and to just keep Percival pinned on 3 bases. Now, pushing into a 3-base setup here is not going to be easy. I would advise Shameless to wait for the 4th base to be taken. Speaking of, here it comes. So once the 4th base is taken, we spoke about this at the start of the game, specifically on Title Citadel, you are spread thin. You are spread thin between your natural, your 3rd, and your 4th expansion. As you can see here, we have all these tanks protecting 1 base, but nothing here. Like, there are no tanks defending the 4th. So this is where Shameless can strike. Tank rotations take a long time. And Percival's not bothering. See Shameless denying the 3rd for as long as he can. 2nd Robo's on the way, getting to double destruct production. Snap the Observer. Shameless pulling out. Percival, he's the first to max. Jesus. I mean, that's how far ahead Percival has been. He's the first to max out in a head-on fight after favor of Percival. The go base is still not fully operational. Just now finished. Shameless is still posturing. So is Percival. The 4th base is up. This is a pivotal moment. The 4th base is now up. We have a sensor tower, a tank, sorry, 2 tanks are in position, the planetary as well. Prism does get into the main though. Okay. There's an opening. Prism gets in, massive Zealot warping into the main base. The main army is going to be rotating, gets spotted by the scan, and Percival is keeping up. He's keeping up with the main army rotation. 1 tank does get sniped. Ooh, the Colossus. The Vikings, they don't quite get the Colossus. Jesus. Yeah, Nova goes off. Massive connection. Massive Nova on the Ghosts. You see how low the Ghosts are. Zealot Warpins are continuing. The main base is in trouble, and Percival is being pulled apart. Does get 1 Colossus. It's 1 Colossus, but there's still more Zealots in the main. More Warpins. Shameless still not finding a way in. Oh. God, these Zealots. Shameless, he rotates over towards the top side. Here, there is 1 tank defensively alongside Winter Mines. There he goes up. This turns away. They get some damage here. 15 SCVs do fall as the Prism in the main base finally goes down. Percival holds. Holds, he defends. There's still DTs in the mix. Jesus. Still finding damage. And honestly, really nice assault here by Shameless. You can see Percival, he plummets in supply. He lost all of his gas. You can see no gas mining in the natural, no gas mining in the main base. He has to recognize what's going on. He needs to get back into those gas geysers. Otherwise, Percival is broke. Oh, Jesus. Shameless rotating in, still has 2 Colossi. Barely 2. Novas, they do a great job zoning away. Tank shots are brutal. Shameless doesn't want to waste these Novas though. He's got how many? 7 disruptions in total, just spent 2 Novas. Now 3, he's got 4 left. Prison pulls away. Shameless takes down the tank. As we mentioned, these rotations can be difficult. Novas, they do connect. Gets one of the ghosts. A little bit trigger happy. Ooh, oh my god. But the Novas are popping up. The Novas, happy. Novas are doing well. Well enough to push up our end, that I'm not so sure about. It does overshoot towards the end. Oh my god, gosh. We need reinforcements though, we need warpins. Where are the warpins, pappy? Boys are being pulled. Disruptors are going down. Shameless, he has a bank, he has to spend his money. And the Zealots are too late. Zealots are too late. If you noticed, Shameless, he warped in Zealots to attack the planetary. It was not worth it. It was not worth it. So poor use of Zealots. Now we spend the money. Now we warp in. Can Shameless break this? Oh, as the trade one is working against him. Zealots are trying to dive in. They're slowly breaking through. But reinforcements have arrived. The warp in is denied. And Percival holds. Percival, he holds on. Shameless, he has been a little bit wasteful these past couple of fights. He's been wasteful. Percival's, he's recovering. Percival, he was so close to going down. He was so close to being broken, but Shameless, he did fumble the ball. Was a blunder. And rebuilding his robo units is so difficult. Oh my god, nice catch. Okay. Nice catch at a Shameless. Picking up Ghost. Again, he does have to preserve those Novas. Has to hold on to them. Shameless rotates in, dives on Liberators, gets one. They're not really getting much damage. Oh my god, 7 SCV kills on a Ghost. The Novas have been crazy. And more importantly, above all else, outside of the trades that Shameless has been having, and outside of overall the greater engagements and better fights, the gold has been untouched. Gold has been untouched. Top right has been untouched. Shameless, he has an economy and a bank to sustain himself. And Percival, he's been stuck at him defending. Stuck at him turtling. As Warpin is going to finish up. This time in the face of Percival. And Shameless, he's once again so close to breaking Percival. Too far away, doesn't get on top of Liberator. Disruptors, nada! They get caught out. Massive pickups. As the Prism gets into the main base. Warpin, oh, barely does finish. DTs and Zealots. Catching reinforcements, peeling off into the mineral lines. SCV's going down, Main Army rotates towards the center base. If he can break this planetary, he can just starve out Percival. Notice they do connect. Oh, Jesus, 2 more ghosts going. Shameless has had some of the best Novas this game that I've seen in quite some time, to be honest. Like the consistent Novas landing like this is quite rare. To see them consistently connect here with Ghosts, with Marauders, with Marines. Ay, ay, ay. Este Shameless. Like usually in a game like this, you get like 1, 2, maybe 3 like decent connections, but like, Shameless has been popping off. Este Shameless. So he's throwing away his probes. Rotates to the south side. Diving on the tank. Diving on the planetary. Percival, he's out of position. He's racing on over, and he will lose the base. Lose the expansion. And at this point, Shameless has done it. He has broken the back of Percival. Percival, he had some strong moments this game, don't get me wrong. But at a certain point, he lost map control. If you remember, it all came down to the Prism. There was the first time the Prism got into the main base and got some massive warpins into the main. Shameless was able to distract Percival, get some crippling damage. And then breaks the economy. So blinking forward, sniping 3 medevacs. 3 medevacs go down. Although Colossus is gonna survive, just barely. Sniping more medevacs. As if Shameless wanted to, he could just blink under this army. There's not really much to defend. There's 2 Marauders and a Ghost. There was. Now we get picked apart. Shameless is about to max out. And Percival, he just hasn't been able to hold on. He's got Mass Liberator, but it's too little too late. It's a lot of freedom. It's a lot of liberation, fact. But Zelsa just rushed past. They once again get into the main base. Planetary goes down. GG gets called, and Shameless, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. I was leaning towards Shameless in this series, but I was still believing that this would go to the ace match, especially here in this game. Percival, he had his own nice moments as well, being able to be aggressive. Remember, it all began with his Banshee Harass. His Hellion Reaper run-bys as well. He was doing very nice damage early on, and Percival, he had the better early game, to be honest. He had the better early game. But then we had the moment when Shameless built up his army, moved out, and went for the Prism into the main base of Percival. We spoke about it, but we saw a massive warping of Zelts into the main base. We saw that Percival, he was unable to defend, he didn't have the supply to react to it, and he was losing so many SCVs, and so much of his production was just rallying to their deaths as we saw warping after warping after warping into the main. There was also the moment where, because of the distraction, Shameless was able to push into the 4th base, trade well, and then rotate to the 3rd, and also trade well. GG. As that was happening, of course, the gold was getting up, bases were being taken, and Shameless could afford his trades. Percival could not. GG, well played. With that, Shameless does claim the series, and now we're getting into our next matchup. We're getting into the grand finals. It is going to be best of 5. Best of 5 here between between Björn and Shameless. Let's go.